Assalamu alaikum, Bokai. Welcome back to the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, the home of Gambian football. It's another weekend recap, guys. But today I will start by saying happy 60th independence to our homeland, the Gambia, guys. Gambia turns 60 years since Gambia had its independence in 1965. It is today 60 years to that day. So happy independence to all my fellow Gambians out there. If you are watching this stream, wherever you are, watching from home, watching from abroad, in the diaspora, happy Independence Day to you all. Yeah, Lengo celebrate at you, buddy. Um, yeah, it's 60 years since Gambia gained its independence. Hopefully, we will see lot more development over the coming years that we have seen over the last 60 years. Guys, welcome back. This is the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel. And like you see in the thumbnail, it is the weekend recap, guys. It was a very eventful week. I would say it was very eventful in the fact that Gambians were doing well around the world. Gambians were being talked about around the world because of their performance for their clubs over the course of the weekend. So yeah, we are here to elaborate or to summarize what really transpired over the course of the weekend as far as Gambian foreign based players are concerned. Guys, if you are watching, guys, please make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Today is Gambia's 60th independence celebration, guys. So let's wish each other a happy independence celebration, guys. So don't leave the comment section without saying something about our country, the smiling coast of Africa, the Gambia, guys. Yeah, I've already seen some comments are coming from Instagram. Of course, Yankuba Minteh being mentioned. So yeah, big up, big up. That is a brother from Senegal, mentioning Yankuba Minteh. Yeah, it was a big week. It was a big week, guys. I'm sure, guys, you saw the post we posted. So I will start with the little recap of what really happened over the course of the weekend, and then I will try to discuss some of the players more in detail, in particular Yankuba Minteh's performance against Chelsea. I have to talk about that. We see that Baboucarr Gaye, the Gambia national team goalkeeper, who was the first choice goalkeeper for the last two African Cup of Nations we went to. He is back in action. He was out for more than almost a year. 2 days left to a year that he was out for club football. So it's very good to see him this weekend back in action. Ali Sowe, like, he has been in rich vein of form. I think he's the most informed Gambian forward at this moment in time, and he continued just where he left off last week. And there were other players involved in the goals. Abu Kante, Lamin Jawo, and Abu Kante, Lamin Jawo, and Abdullah Sanyang. They were all in the goals. I mentioned Ali Sow already. Aliou Jata got a couple of assists and also kept a clean sheet for his club. Lamin Colley in Hungary got an assist. His club is at the top of the league there. Baboucarr Gaye, I just mentioned, Ibu Ture got another clean sheet for Stockport as they push for their promotion to league, to championship. Baboucarr Basiru Salah, good morning, happy birthday of Gambia. Hello, bro. Yeah, happy. Yeah, Gambia turned 60 today since we had independence. So happy independence celebration to you all, my fellow Gambian brothers and sisters. Yeah. Where else to start today, guys? Where else to start? I think if we want to say the talk of the week was Yankuba Minteh's performance, and it was not just Gambians talking about him; it was all over the world. If you go to any website, they have the Premier League as well, their team of the week, their player of the week, stuff like that. he was everywhere. He was on the lip of everything. He made it to Alan Shearer's Team of the Week live score. He made it to their top 5 leagues Team of the Week. He made it to their Team of the Week, obviously, and he also won there was a foot mob. Who scores Player of the Week for the Premier League, which is massive. So he had an exceptional week with Brighton, and I think for me, I'm not surprised. For me, maybe many of us will not be surprised with it, but I mean, I'm not surprised in the sense that his form has been really good of late. It did not reflect to what Brighton have been doing as a team. Yes, they won against Manchester United, and then they have a couple of blips. They lost against Everton, and then they lost against Nottingham Forest, a heavy defeat, 7-0, which Yankuba Minteh played the whole 90 minutes in that game. And then they played in the FA Cup against Chelsea back to back. They win both games against Chelsea. So if you look at the run of events since then, I think he has had a very, very good run of games. Despite that 7-0 loss, I said that last week here, I said it the week before. Despite Brighton losing 7-0 against Nottingham Forest, I think Yankuba Minteh was the best player on the pitch on that day for Brighton. But again, I always say after that, like, I don't want to be the best player when my team is 7-0. But if you look at it in the context of an individual level, he was the best performer. On that day, he was the only Brighton player who actually got a rating more than 7. So 7 as a rating is usually a very good rating for a player. He was the only Brighton player to get that. He completed the most dribbles in that game. I think he won the most duels for Brighton on that day, created the most chances for Brighton on that day, despite them losing 7-0. So maybe it's difficult to analyze a game that you lost 7-0. But then if you look at it at the individual level, he was very good. And then you look back before that game, the start he had was at Old Trafford. We all remember what he did at Old Trafford against Manchester United. He was man of the match in that game. Then they played Chelsea back to back in the FA Cup. They played Chelsea back to back, one in the FA Cup and one in the league. And even prior to Manchester United, it was Norwich, which was also a very good performance. I remember describing that performance as his most mature performance. So at an individual level, the last 5 games he started, he has been consistent. That did not reflect to what his club did, but as an individual, he has been very, very consistent for Brighton for the last 5 games. And this was the consistency that we were always looking forward to seeing for him in the Premier League. We know the talent is there. He will have flashes of brilliance, and then we will enjoy it. But to be doing it week in, week out, when you are in the team, that was something that was lacking in his initial game as a Brighton player. So that now is coming together. He's getting more consistent. His performance are getting more consistent. He's becoming more of a threat. And the thing is, when people talk about Yankuba Minteh, they are not only talking about what he's doing as an attacking player, but his all-round game, defensively, what he contributes to the team, how he covers for Veldman. Brighton fans absolutely love him. I work with a Brighton fan. I'm coaching with a Brighton fan who, before Yankuba Minteh moved to Brighton, he has been in Brighton all the way. If you check the previous programs that we have on the Jollof Football, but now when Yankuba Minteh came to Japan, actually I went to watch him. Went to watch Brighton with him. He told me the history of Brighton from when they were almost in extinction out of the league. These Brighton fans are really, really, really excited with Minteh. And of course, you will understand why. Just like we Gambians are very, very excited with what he's doing. And this weekend, he was absolutely exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. I know there has been a lot of complaints in Gambia about why Brighton gave Mitoma the man of the match. I think I will start by trying to address that one. The Brighton, Yankuba Minteh won the Premier League Man of the Match, by the way. On the day he won the Premier League Man of the Match, he was given that award. Maybe we don't have the photo to show that, but he won the Premier League Man of the Match on that day. He won the Premier League Man of the Match on that day. Which is his second man of the match against United 2. He won the Premier League Man of the Match. But for Brighton's Man of the Match, that is the club's Man of the Match, that was given to Mitoma. And that award is based on votes. It's based on votes. Brighton usually at the end of the game, immediately at the end of the game, they put out a poll on Twitter, or yeah, on Twitter usually, and then people will vote. People will vote. So the player with the most vote wins. And we know voting is not usually something that they really reflects what really transpired. It depends on the player who has the most fame, the player who has the most fans. And if all the Japanese people vote and all the Gambians people vote, Gambia don't have a chance. Mitoma is gonna win that vote, and Mitoma is equally as huge in Japan as Yankuba Minteh is huge in the Gambia. But you cannot compare the scale of these two countries. So Mitoma, whenever he plays a good game, the Japanese fans will be on the Brighton page posting, voting for Mitoma to win the player of the match. So at the end of the day, that one is decided basically on the amount of votes that you have on Twitter. So that's why Mitoma was the man of the match, and people were crying about that. But yeah, let's not cry. He got the Premier League man of the match on the day, which was the bigger one. I hope he had that photo with the man of the match award. I haven't seen it yet, but I hope we can see that one. But against Cucurella had a torrid time against Yankuba Minteh on this day. Very, very difficult time for Cucurella on that day. I'm sure he is very happy not to play Minteh again this season, because it has been a difficult couple of games for him against Yankuba Minteh, because Yankuba Minteh never stops running. He was always working hard. So if you are also attacking, he's always next to you, always on your throat. So it's very, very difficult for him. And equally, when he has the ball, he hurts you really, really bad. And that's what he did with Cucurella. Look at Cucurella on the ground. 2 times he put Cucurella on the ground and then buried the goal. He completed the game with the most dribbles, won the most tackles in that game, won the most duels in that game. He was absolutely exceptional. It was an all-round performance for him. Veltman did not have any difficulty whatsoever playing that game, because Yankuba Minteh got his back all the way through. Yeah. What a player we have in our hands. What a player. I can remember last season when I said when I made a post about Yankuba Minteh, when there was this too much comparison between Saka and Foden in the Premier League, Saka, Arsenal, and Foden of Manchester City. And I said, okay, I'm going to throw Yankuba Minteh's name in the hat. If Yankuba Minteh, by the time these players hang their boots, I believe Yankuba Minteh has all the potential to be as good as them. That is the potential I see in the boy, to be as good at them, if not better. Because the part of development comparing those players is very different. Yankuba Minteh came from the Gambia. We all understand it's very difficult for footballers to develop in the Gambia. Of course, he had a good development in the Gambia, went to some good academies, so you have to give it to those academies and all that. But it's not the same level when you compare it to players who are developing in England and then having that pathway to get into the Premier League. For him, he had to go around, go to Denmark, prove himself there, then went to Netherlands, prove himself before he can have this opportunity in the Premier League as well. So the paths are different. So it's easier for those players to flourish at this stage of their careers than him. But in terms of potential, what this boy can offer, how far this boy can go in football, I think he has the potential to be as good, if not better, than those players. That's what I believe about him. It's not just because I'm a Gambian, but it's something that I always believe in him. And hopefully he will do that. So we just keep praying for him, and we keep supporting him, giving him all the support he needs, keep him grounded, and then keep working hard, because I think the best Yankuba Minteh we see is the one who works really, really hard. So if he can maintain this with the qualities he have as a footballer, the sky is the limit for this boy. Chelsea will be very, very happy to see that they will not be playing against this boy again this season. What a game he had against Chelsea, and long may it continue. Yeah, with the flying celebration. I'm sure you guys saw the camera. What is the Minteh cam? That is the player cam, where the camera followed his all action in the game. You see him talking with Cucurella in the game. There was a time Cucurella, hit him, like I think he tried to hit him, but like he kicked him, and then Yankuba Minteh was quite not happy about it, telling him, and then Cucurella was, okay, let's play. If you got me and you know, no bad, could you play? And that's what he did. He continued playing, and then Cucurella got the worst of it at the end. Yankuba Minteh completely tormented him on that day, and what a player we have in our hands. Yeah, Hugo said, "Let's hope." I hope he maintains the momentum. I hope so too. I'm happy that he is showing this momentum. I think for the last 4 or 5 games that he started, he has not put a foot wrong. He has been very, very consistent with his performances, which is really, really good. Because even last month he was nominated for Brighton Player of the Month. So that tells you he has been performing for them for the last month or the whole month of January. He was nominated, and then you look at his performance in February. He played Chelsea twice in February, and it has been very, very good games for him as well. Yeah, he the momentum he's showing, and hopefully that continue. Yeah. Yeah, and then we move on to another very important one, that is Baboucarr Gaye, which I'm really, really happy with. Baboucarr Gaye, I'm really, really happy with. I'm seeing some comments coming from the Sports Max. He's saying, you guys are doing you are doing the best. We love you guys. I love you too, bro. Yeah, you guys are doing also very well. Keep pushing. The views will come naturally. Yeah. We don't worry too much about that. Of course, we worry about it, but of course, we just continue doing what we're doing. Yeah. And hopefully, yeah, things will get better on that side. But thank you very much for the encouragement. We really appreciate it. And yeah, and you guys too, keep pushing, man. Yeah, Baboucarr Gaye. Speaking of Baboucarr Gaye, guys, he has been out for almost a year. I think 354 days. 354 days. I think that was what he wrote on his post. 364, 60, like they were just few days before it reached a year. It was last February after the African Cup of Nations. He went back to his club. I don't think he played any game for his club again. And then he did his knee, and that put him out for a year, which is a really, really tough time. And what made it even tougher was that his contract was ending in 6 months at that club. So it was not even 6 months; it was ending in 3 or 4 months, because usually July the contracts that's the time the contracts are usually signed from. It ends in July, end of July, when the season ends. So he was approaching that period where his contract was finishing as well. Then he got the ACL, and football is a brutal sport. And prior to that, he was even struggling to be the number one in that team. So that team were already trying to move on from him. So the fact that he got injured made it even easier for them to let go of him. They did not give him a new contract. And that is really, really difficult to get an injury, a very bad injury, a long-term injury, when you don't have a club, is a very, very difficult task. It's a very difficult challenge. I have encountered Gambian footballers, who have similar situation, had the injury at the wrong time of their career, and then it has been difficult for them to get back to the level they were in, or to get back integrated with a club. So it is usually difficult. So of course we don't. He moved to Macedonia, and if you ask any Gambian, would you want your Gambian international goalkeeper to be playing in Macedonia? You will prefer him to be playing somewhere else. But for him at this stage, at this moment in his career, the most important thing is to get back on track. And maybe the clubs, the leagues, the bigger leagues will not give him that opportunity. And then, so big up to Voska Sports for giving him the opportunity to get back to his best. Of course, it's a professional league in Macedonia, not the league that we all follow, but it's a good place for him to regain his fitness. He is still a young goalkeeper. If you look at his age, I think he's 26, if I'm not wrong, 24, 26, between that age. So he still have a long way to go. We know a goalkeeper's career can last longer than infield players. So for him now, what's important is a club that will give him an opportunity again. And Vodska did exactly that. They gave him a contract. And over the weekend, he made his first start for the club, for Vodska Sport in Macedonia. They won their game 2-0. And he had a very good game, I would say. He had a very good game, because if you look at the game, that was their first win, I think, in 7 games, Vodska, and then they kept a clean sheet. They won 2-0. which was their third clean sheet so far this season. They had only 2 clean sheets prior to the weekend. So with Gay coming in, they had their third clean sheet of the season. And now that take them out of the relegation. When he signed, they were at the bottom of the table. Now they move up to 2 places up because both clubs that were close to them, they lost this weekend and they won. So they move into 10th place. There are 12 clubs in the league, so they move to 10th place. I'm really happy to see him back playing again. Just to see him on the pitch, kicking ball again. It was something that was beautiful to see, regardless of how many spectators are watching the game, just to see him playing as a professional footballer. We know he's a top goalkeeper. I remember when my brother here came here, goalkeeper Omar Choi, who is playing in Luxembourg, another Gambian goalkeeper. He really rated Baboucarr Gaye in terms of his goalkeeping ability, because he followed German football and that, and the way he uses his body, the way he uses the ball. He's just a very, very good goalkeeper. Hopefully he will recover from this injury very well, and then we will see him in the national team in the not so distant future. But for now, the most important thing for him is to get back that rhythm, playing more regularly, and then get to the form, feel more confident with his knee. You see, he's still strapping his knee. That tells you that he is not 100% confident with the knee yet, but he's playing. Hopefully the pain will completely go away, and then we will see the best of Baboucarr Gaye again. Yeah, because to be honest, Gambia, he's one of the best goalkeepers we have at the moment in time. He's one of them, to be honest, because we were struggling when he was injured and Toldo was not being nominated, not being selected. We are struggling to know who's gonna start in goal until Ibrahim Ajaju take that claim and then starting games for Jonathan McKinstry. So Baboucarr Gaye will add more competition to the goalkeeping department, because the more competition we have in every position, the better for the national team. That is how I see it. I always want to see the best players playing for the Gambia national team. We move on to Ali Sowe, another player who has been in absolutely exceptional form so far this season. Ali Sowe. He scored his 11th goal of the season, and he scored it against the one of the top teams in the Turkish league, that is Galatasaray. Unfortunately, they did not win the game, but he was the one who scored their only goal. And he has been doing this for fun now with his club. So that makes it 5 goals in the last 4 games that he played, including goals against a brace against Basic. A brace against Fenerbahce and a goal against Galatasaray. So he's not only scoring against the smaller teams, the lesser teams, he's also finding it against the best teams in the league, which, of course, Fenerbahce. If you are talking about the best teams in Turkish league, you talk about Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, and he's finding the back of the net against these teams as well. He's in such a good form. Last week I said it. I know for Gambians generally, from what I get from Gambians generally is Ali. So it's not compatible with what we do in the national team. He does not help the national team when he's playing in the national team or stuff like that. But what I always say is that Ali is somebody who we have not hit at his peak. Never. Like, what I mean by at his peak, when he's at his best form, when he was scoring goals for fun for Ankara Gucu, when he was scoring goals for fun for Rubin Kazan, when he was scoring goals for fun for his previous clubs, Gambia don't usually get him at the right time. So usually when maybe he's not in the best of form, that is when we don't see that. That's when we see him in the national team. So, like, we have an upcoming international break that is going to be in March. It's almost March. It's in a couple of weeks. I think Jonathan McKinstry will name his squad. 1 week or 2 weeks from now, Jonathan McKinstry will name his squad. And also, with the form he is in going into that international break, I think it will help him a lot. This is what I've been wanting to see, because if you look at his previous time in the national team, we had the time when Tom was there. We all know Tom and Ali Sowe did not go along very well, for whatever reason, they did not go along very well. So when Ali was really in good form, it was the Gambia fans who were asking for Ali to be in the national team, and Tom will make a decision, bring him, and then maybe not play him, or even not bring him into the national team. And we do not know exactly the reason behind that. And then when Johnny came to us, well, he was not in the best of form when he was coming to play for Johnny. So we never really, it never really matched together where Ali is in peak form and then the Gambia national team is playing. That has not happened a lot. So with the form he is in right now, I think it will be a very good time for him to come to the national team and make a claim for himself, because right now he is in exceptional form. Even the game against Galatasaray, he should have scored more than one goal. He hit the post before he scored his goal, and then he scored a very good goal. He was inside the 6-yard box, tapping one touch finish to equalize for Rising Sport. Unfortunately, Osimhen scored a brace, one in the dying minutes of the game for them to lose the game 2-1. I think Ali is in the form of his life right now. He's the most informed Gambian forward. Like I say, last 4 games in the league, he scored in each and every one of them, 5 goals in his last 4 games. So let's see what he will bring to the national team when next we play. Next, this one is a concern. This one is a concern that I wanna talk about, because Omar Colley did not play this weekend, but because he did not play, it is becoming a worry for me. So I had to go and do a little bit of digging on Omar Colley, on his form at club level, on what's really been happening with Omar Colley. It is not looking good for Omar Colley. I know he is now getting to the age, because he has been a servant for the national team for the longest time. Like, it's very rare for Gambian for us to see a Gambian national team player playing for that long, like Omar Colley has done for the Gambian national team. It is no coincidence that he is the most capped Gambian player. He has more than 50 caps for the Gambian national team. He's always available, always consistent. I know he has his critics in the Gambia as well. You say Omar Colley is this, Omar Colley is that, but we have not had a player like him who is always available for the team, always playing at a good level in the past. But that has not been the case of recent. It has not been the case of recent. And that is my concern as a Gambian. With the international break coming, of course, for the World Cup qualifiers, maybe we know we're not going to qualify for the World Cup, but I think it's a good time for us to start building for our future. I'm not saying that Omar Colley should not be there, but he's still a very important player for the Gambia, so I want to see him playing. But then, come the international break, I will expect to hear his name in the squad. I would expect to see his name in the squad because of his experience, because of what he has done for the Gambia in the past. But if you look at it in the perspective of what he is doing at club level right now, the games he is playing at club level right now, then you will tend to think, should he be in the national team? That is why it is worrying. I expect to see him in the national team. I expect to see him captain the national team play. But at this moment in time, he is not getting what he was used to get week in, week out playing. Maybe age is catching up with him. He is now 32 years of age, right? Maybe age is catching up with him. And, moving to a new club as well, PAOK, from Besiktas last season, where he was starting week in, week out, is also maybe a challenge. But he has also struggled with his. He has had a lot of injuries so far this season. When I looked at his performance, when I look at his game time this season, I checked. So since December 2nd up to this date, we are in February, approaching March. So for almost 2 to 3 months, yeah, between 2 to 3 months, he only started one time for his club. Only once he started for his club, which was worrying. And then you say, okay, maybe he was injured for most of the time. But then you look at the squad. Most of the time he was in the squad without even getting on the pitch. So he only played 150 minutes since December 2nd. 150 minutes since December 2nd. If you translate that into a game time, 180 minutes is 2 games of football. So he has played less than 2 games of football in total, minutes wise, from December up to this date, almost 3 months. And he's the leader of our defense. So this is a concern for me. He's the leader of our defense. He's a leader in our team. And then why it is even more concerning is because we don't have a lot of options in the position that he is playing. Like, yes, there are defenders, Gambian defenders, who are playing for clubs outside the country, which I will talk about later. We have some young defenders coming through. But other than James, Leon Jai, those two, which other central defender can we say they will take up from Omar Colley? Leon Jai is still young in the national team. He only had one game experience in the national team. He's not yet there. He will get there. He's a top defender. I love the kid. But, he is just coming into the national team. So we have only two other options other than Omar Colley, which is very, very, very worrying for Gambia. I've always say our defensive, we have to improve on our defense. We have to try to, get numbers in defense. But it is quite worrying that we only have these three available. So imagine if, like, I will touch wood, imagine if Lion and James were not available. What do we do in defense? That should be a worrying thing. That is something we need to address. I hope Jonathan McKinstry is aware of this, and then he's trying to find ways to address it. Omar Colley not playing games is not something that we love to see. He is such an important player for the national team for such a long time that we really rely on him for a very long time. So if he's not available with the options we have, I think that's gonna be a really, really tough one for the Gambia national team. Yeah, it is worrying when it comes to Omar Colley. Yeah, so that was a concern for me. He did not play this weekend. He did not play any minute for his club. He was on the bench for them. He last played in the Europa League. I think he played few minutes. He came off the bench and played few minutes in the Europa League. Yeah. Moving on to Alassana Jatta. Alassana Mane. Alassana Jatta did not score this week. He is not in the headlines, but Alassana Mane made his debut for his club, Hibernian. They were very happy to have him there. He made his debut, but unfortunately, the debut was short-lived. He got a 2 yellow card, 2 bookable offenses, and then he was shown his match in orders, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully, he will bounce back from it and then become a very good player. He was so unfortunate for the second yellow card because it was a challenge in the air, and then he got I think he got a bit of the guy. Yeah. KCL football. Yeah, I don't have any problem with new defenders coming in, but like James and Lion, I trust those defenders, to be honest. But what I'm saying is, if one or two of these defenders were not available, what do we do as a country? That is my concern. That is where my concern is, because if you look at the strikers, if like Hassan Cisse has been out for a long time, who has been our leading goal scorer for a very long time, but Gambia have found solutions in the striking position. There were times Yankuba Minteh was injured, and there were options we had there. We had Juara, we had the Bambalai, who also scored this weekend. So we had options. Ali Fadera, Ibrahim Colley was not playing. We had Ali Fadera was playing regularly. We have competition everywhere else in the pitch except in our central defensive area. So that is why it is worrying for me. So we need more central defenders. That is actually what I'm referring to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Bambalai, I just mentioned him. He also scored his second goal in the Czech Republic League for his club, Hajduk Split, which with a nice goal there. Then we look at some players who also made their debuts this weekend. Jibril Sose made his debut for Kalmar. They lost that game 2-0. My brother Mo Sports was there watching him. Chuka Jaju also made speaking of defender, Chuka Jaju is another defensive option. What is his name again? The other Sirif Sinyan is also an option there, but these players have to get back to the form for them to be considered for the national team, especially Musa Jatta. Yes, he's an option, but he has to be in the national team first, and then he has to be performing week in week out at club level for us. Like, it's easy to call the names. I know those kids. I love all those kids. Musa Jata, they are doing well. He scored a couple of weeks ago. I featured him here. But they have to perform to a level where you feel, okay, we are confident that these players can come in and then do a job straight away in the national team. We are talking about the Gambian national team, guys. We are not talking about what they are doing what they're doing for the under 17 or 20. We are talking about the elite team for the Gambia. So, and sometimes it needs experience. You need the play. You need to have that form to be in the national team. Like this weekend, I think his club, they lost, and his club, and they are in Finland, with all due respect, which is not also the biggest league, the biggest league in the world. So it also depends on the players, what they are doing at their club level. And for us to gain that trust, it's the national team, guys. It's the national team of the Gambia. It should not be an easy. But of course, these young players, they are coming through, and hopefully they can live up to that expectation that we have on them. And hopefully we will see them in the national team very, 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 very soon. Yeah, Musa Jata is an option. Bro, I think we should Bakari Sen. You mean Alaji Sen or Bakari Sen? Alaji Sen. You mean Alaji Sen, right? Alaji Sen Horsens. Alaji Sen has been injured for a very long time. He was somebody that we were looking up to break through into that national team after having a wonderful time with the under 20 in the under 20 African Cup of Nations and the World Cup. He was very, very good for the team leader. Very good on the ball, very good defender. But then, he had an injury. He went to Horsens and then he had some injury issues. But he is back. He played this weekend, a friendly game for them. So now let's see what he can do for Horsens in the second half of the season. They are playing in the second division of the Dennis League. If he can break through, if he can have a very good time during that period, then of course, we will see. We will be happy to see, as I said again, in the national team. He's a very, very good defender. I don't doubt that. But again, what I'm talking about is not about the names. I can mention Idrissa Cisse. He was exceptional in the national team when he came in. But when we are talking about the national team, the reason why I am concerned with Omar Colley, for example, is because he's not playing regularly. He's not performing at the level that we want to see him, coming to the national team. So it's basically similar to the other names we are talking about. Chuka. This is the first time Chuka has played a game in almost a year. He has been on the bench for his club previously in Norway for a very long time. He never played any minute there. And then he moved to Struga. He made his debut this weekend. So, is that enough for us to say, okay, Chuka is ready to play for the national team? It is not. He has to show that form week in, week out, perform well for his club. They lost this weekend, I think 1-0. He played the 90 minutes, which is wonderful to see. But now he needs to keep having those minutes and then performing, making himself, okay, I'm here again. Just like when we talk about the goalkeeper, CSCB right now is having an exceptional time with his club, Musa Diba. We have tons of goalkeeping options there. Baboucarr Gaye has just come into the picture again. So this is what we want to see in the defensive position. I don't think anybody can sit here and tell me this defender, he should start for the Gambia in the upcoming break, in the upcoming international break. You can say James Gomez, you can say Lion Jai, but those players, their season have not yet started yet. Their season have not yet started yet. So we cannot say much about these two players in terms of form. But those are the two that played the last international game that we had. So based on what they did in that international game, we can say these are the two options. But other than those two, you cannot tell me any defender who is playing out there as a Gambian that he will come into the national team and straight into the national team and start because of the form, because of the performance he is putting up for his club. It's not there. So this is a concern for the Gambia national team. My brother Farms is in the comments again, bro. Malaziare, you yaba. Yeah. Thanks for the much love, bro. I'm gonna keep it up. Yeah, we keep going. We keep going, we keep pushing. Yeah, we keep going. Boto Jawi like announcing independence celebrating the day that they kill ancestors and rules. Well, but it's the day that we have we feel we have our freedom, so we have to celebrate it, bro. I feel Modu was talking about Sen, and he's talking about Asan Sise. Yeah, Asan Sise, I last heard that he is on the verge of returning to action. I don't know how close he is, but I understand that he is very close to returning to action. Hopefully we see him very soon. Yeah, you mentioned Nuha Sonko. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on Nuha Sonko. But where is Nuha? Where is Nuha? Where is Nuha? Like, yes, if he comes now, he will start in the national team. Absolutely agree. But he has not come for the national team since the African Cup of Nations. And why? We don't know. My light just went off. I don't know why. But yeah, so I got a little bit darker. My light just got let me see. I think I have another light. I have a lot of light, so maybe I can put this one right there. Yeah, I can connect that one. Maybe it's better. It's not great, but it's better. Yeah. Yeah, my broji, I agree with you. Nuha has been the best Gambian defender. Yeah, but we don't have a lot of Gambian defenders who are doing well right now. That is the concern we have. And Nuha, unless Coach Jonathan tell us why he's not coming, the assumption or the opinion of the general public is that he was disappointed with the treatment towards the AFCON when they had that plane issue. That was the general understanding from the people that Nuha, he feel like he don't feel safe or something like that, and then he is not coming. He's not honoring the invitation from the coach. We don't have the information from the guy Nuha or from the coach exactly why he's not coming, but this is what people are saying. This is the rumors that this is why Nuha is not coming for the national team. So if he's not coming, you cannot consider him as an option for the national team right now. Yeah, you cannot consider him as an option. Over the weekend, we see a couple of players who were returning. Abdullah Jallo Jamano made his return for Mets. He is also somebody who's struggling for form this season. Contract issue, I think, with Mets. His contract ended at the end of the season. So it seems Mets are ready to let go of him. I don't think they want to give him a new contract. That's my feeling. I don't know. So that's why they're not playing him, or they are negotiating the contract and they are not agreeing. And then now, they're not playing him and then try to move forward. But he played some minutes this weekend. Yeah. So KCM, yes, that's true. Exactly. So he said he has spoken to somebody who's very close to Nuha, and that is what he also got. So yeah, that must be the case. He's not ready to come back for the national team because of the treatment that they got. So yeah, which is fair enough. I respect him for doing that, because yeah, it's his life. His life. He has to take his life very seriously. Yeah. It's about what happened at the last AFCON. Yeah. So yeah. Keep going, bro. Tambedu, Usman Tambedu. Bro, Jerry Jeff, thank you very much. Yeah. Did I not? Yusuf Njai also. Yusuf Njai. I forgot to mention Yusuf Njai. Yusuf Njai also played some minutes. I think that was his debut for his home debut for his club. FC Forense. They played against Porto, but they lost the game 1-0. You started the game, played about 60. He made his debut in there last weekend, coming off the bench, and this time he started the game. Yeah. But come on, go ahead, guys. I had a happy independence celebration. Gambia turned 60 today. It was 60 years of independence, in 60 years of freedom. So we need to celebrate that. Hopefully, we have a better next 60 years. Maybe that will not meet us here, that will not find us here, but at least our children, our grandchildren will live to enjoy better than we have in terms of development for the country, because there's a long way to go with that country. But nonetheless, it's our homeland and we love it. So we wish happy independence to all our fellow Gambians, guys. Yeah, that's what I had today. Of course, the star of the week was Yankuba Minteh. I think it does not need saying. He was the star of the week. He was the star of the week in the Premier League. Obviously, he'll be the star of the week in the Gambia as well. KCL has also said something again. And not only Sonko, but what happened at the last AFCON is affecting the Gambia when it comes to convincing players to come play. So you see, what he's saying is that like Gambia is, because we have a lot of half Gambians, like Mahdi Kamara, like Cody Drame, those kind of players. Yeah. He said what happened in the last AFCON is making it difficult for Gambia to invite these players to come, because these players, they have good quality of life. So if they come to Gambia and they start experiencing things that they will not experience in where they are, it's difficult for them to come and play for the Gambia, which is understandable. Yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you very, very much for joining me today. On Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, whoever joined me, thank you very much for following the the Jollof Football Bantaba platforms. We are here to promote Gambian football, as we always say. Yeah, and today is the independence. So for the Gambia, our homeland, like we said in our post earlier, di leen jox dig daje inshallah over the weekend. There should be the Gambia football show with my brothers Che, Coach Che, Buba Jallo Falaboy, and Space TV. Hopefully those will join us over the weekend. Yeah. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me as always. I'm sure you guys know better than me what I'm talking about, but thank you for supporting and thank you for pushing. I will catch you guys in the next one. Yeah. Goodbye, guys.